Hi there and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne, from SwimCycleRunCoach. It was Bill Shankly who said, football, it's not life and death, it's more important than that. Well, can the same possibly be said about triathlon? Triathlon, not life and death, much more important than that. I actually don't think so, but a case in point happened just about 3 weeks ago, just before Ironman Lanzarote. A friend of mine who's training hard for Ironman Lanzarote and should do well, has done it before, suddenly had a health scare. And this health scare meant that the doctors were suggesting that this might be an end to his aerobic exercise. That is incredibly unfortunate. And I think that person themselves started going through a bereavement process as it dawned on him that, hang on a second, all these things I'm doing, going out for hours upon hours upon hours, are just coming to an end. I'm at a loss. And he even made a statement, if I was single, I'd still do it. Well, he went to Ironman Lanzarote, it's just finished this weekend, as a traveller with his wife. He's got a wife and children, and there he posted a comment on Facebook, and that comment said, seeing the doctor at 5 o'clock, he'll tell me whether I can race or not. Now, I'm fairly certain, knowing him, that this was tongue-in-cheek. I haven't spoken to him yet. He only came back from Lanzarote last night. But other people made comments about that, and one was very interesting. I'll read you it. It said this: think short term. We all have to go one day, and it may as well be somewhere sunny doing something you like. Interesting, isn't it? This person, from his Facebook profile picture, appears to have a child, and I find that really interesting from someone who's got a child, because so has this person who has the health problem. He has 2 lovely children and a lovely wife, and I can't think of that family without him. I don't think that family would want to live one day without him. They know he'll go eventually, we all do, but to actually chance it and say, you are less important to me than this particular race? After all, what's the race going to do? You're going to get a finishing time. That's it. Worst case scenario, you actually don't finish. So what? That would be even worse to die for, wouldn't it? Actually having stomach problems and not finishing a race, or falling off your bike and not finishing a race, and actually dying because of it? There's no way that triathlon is more important than life and death. No sport is. Even for professional athletes, there's a life after their sport. So for non-professional athletes, you're not defined by what you do for those hours of sporting prowess. You may think you are, but that's a very short-sighted view, and let's say a very narrow-minded view of your own personality. You have huge amounts to offer other than sport. So put sport into its perspective. It's wonderful to do. It's fantastic to take part. The people in it become incredibly good friends because they are generally the type of people you want to mix with. But it's not life and death. And it's not more important than that. So, that's it for this week. Put sport into its perspective. Keep it in perspective. It is only one of the things you do. It doesn't define your whole existence. Alright, that's it. Next week I'll be reviewing a book about running. That should be fairly interesting. It's an interesting book. This week, on Sunday, I'm going to be at Thorpe Lake, arriving at 8:15, in the water about 8:30. If you're there, please say hello. I'd love to swim with you. Other than that, I'll see you next week.